Hey guys, it's Rushy here, how y'all doing? I'm back yet again with another video. This one we're talking about Hori control pads, so we've done this to death in the past. But as you can see, I've got two new offenders on the table that we can go over in a little bit of detail. So just to give you a bit of background, the Hori Fighting Commander, not the FC4, this one here, the Fighting Commander is my pad of choice. This is the third one I've had. The first one I took apart, I operated on to try and fix it, didn't go too well. Check the video description for a link to that. The second one, as you probably saw last night, it sort of died on me in the middle of a match. So the control pad was set to, it was stuck pressing the right button on the D-pad, so Ken just kept walking. I haven't taken it apart and I don't really plan to be honest. So this is my third one that I'm using. Fourth if you include the FC4, which I don't have anymore. But it's my third fighting commander. It seems to be going well so far. It's a pad of choice and it's the one I'm still using, even though I bought these two. But let's talk about these two now. So this one is the, they call it the two-way. It's a Hori PS1 pad. To get it to work on the PS4, I bought a Brook PS2 to PS4 converter. That seems to work really well for both of these retro pads. I think Luffy, actually no, I don't think, I know, Luffy does use that same converter. That's how he gets his PS1 control pad to work on the PS4 for Street Fighter 5. But yeah, talk about this one. So this is the two-way. It's got 6 buttons on the face of the pad. It's got an L1, and well, it depends on what the settings are. Let me see there. It's got L1 and L2 or R1, R2. Depending on the toggle that you use, it will change what these buttons do. Surprisingly enough, I didn't realise this. You can use all 6 buttons and the 2 shoulder buttons, which is perfect. So Street Fighter 5, in my opinion, you need 6 buttons. So you need your punches, your kicks, and then your 3 punches and your 3 kicks for your V reversals for your EX moves. So that works really well in principle. It would be a bang-on pad if it wasn't for the fact, this is just personal preference, I don't like to use the analog stick and the trigger on the same hand. I prefer 2 on this side, which I think is in my opinion, the best way to build a 6-button pad. It's just more natural to use this hand for buttons and this hand just for direction, but the D-pad it's beautiful. And this pad, the D-pad is so nice, I really like it. But I won't talk much about that now. I'll talk about that a bit later. This is the other one. This is the first one that I actually got out of the two. They're both second hand, they're both off eBay. I don't know what the name of this one is, it's just a Hori. It might be a Fighting Commander as well, but it's just a 6-button pad. So you've got 6 buttons here, you've got all sorts of like turbo settings which I haven't used. And you've got the 2 shoulders, you see there, on the left and on the right. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice looking pad. It's really light as well. That's actually lighter than this one, which is strange. But yeah, I love the feel of it. D-pad, just like that one there. It's really, really good. I like the fact that you can feel where your thumb is, so you know when you're on a diagonal, you know when you're on a direction. That's the issue with this pad. If these D-pads were fitted onto this pad, this would be the best pad going, without doubt. But yeah, I much more prefer these. So you can mess with the toggles to configure how you want these buttons to be laid out, but you can get it. I mean, for me, I've got top 3 is punches, bottom 3 is kicks. That's 3 punches, that's 3 kicks. So this one, in principle, would be the best pad out of the 2 old school pads. The problem with this particular pad I bought is the buttons seem to get, when you're playing, you can't hear it now, when you're playing they seem to get stuck. So I have to kind of like pop them out when I'm playing, which is obviously no good during combos and like key moments in a match. So I need to have a look at repairing this one, see if I can improve on it, I guess. I'm sort of thinking that there was an issue with this one. I can't remember because I haven't used it in a while. I think there was a problem with this one. So if you look at the pad, L1 and R1, R1, R2. So you're forced to use, I think you have to use, yeah, that's it. I remember what was wrong with this pad. You are forced to use, it's going to be R2, so L2 and R2, because that button is L. Let me see that. That one's L1, that one's R2, but you're forced to use L2 and R2 for your punches and kicks. So I remember now what I plan to do. I plan to rewire this if possible. I don't know how viable that will be, to have these 2 working and these 6 on the front working, so you'd have it perfectly set up. So it'd be ideally how I want it to be with the rewiring, but then I've got the other issue with the button sticking. So there's a few problems with this I need to address, and I don't know how possible it will be to fix that, but that's my plan moving forwards. Going back to the 2-way, this actually isn't bad as it is. It's really good, doesn't need any tweaks. But as I mentioned before, the problem I have is with the directions and the 3 punches. I've tried switching it around, having 3 kicks there, 3 punches there. The reason 3 punches is important, as Ken, is if you do 2 light attacks into EX Fireball and V trigger for a lot of his sort of lights into V trigger combos, you can only do 2 lights into EX Fireball. You can't do 2 lights into heavy Fireball in combo. But I have problems with that with this pad. I just can't seem to do it with the 3 punches here. Putting the 3 punches there makes it easier, but then my EX Tatsu, my dive kicks suffer because I'm jumping quarter circle back, trying to mash that, it's not coming out. So the D-pad itself is fine, but when I'm trying to use this button in conjunction with the D-pad and with this hand, it's just me, I guess. It's not really something that everyone's going to struggle with, but I just can't do it. So unfortunately, I can't use this pad for what I want to do with this little experiment. So as good as it is, and it's, I mean, if you get the chance, or if you've got a bit of spare money, you fancy it, I'd recommend giving it a try. The only thing is you don't know the state of the pad until it comes, because they're all second hand. But I'm going to knock this one on the head. I'm not going to go with this one just because I haven't got the 2 triggers on the right hand side. Going back to this one again, like I said, if I can rewire this to have 2 triggers working there, those 6 buttons working there, and as long as they're not sticking as they are now, in my eyes, the perfect pad. It feels really, really good in comparison to this pad, which is, I'd give this one overall, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs, a 7.5 out of 10. This would be like a 9 out of 10, just because the D-pad is so much better. There's a bit of movement in it, I think. Oh no, there's movement in the other pad. This one's fine, spot on. So with the help of a friend of mine online, we're going to look to see if there's some replacement parts for it. New sort of like bedding underneath, so they're not, you can actually hear them. They do have a lot of play in them. So if these are more stable and then I can rewire it, I'll be so happy. I'll be like over the moon, ecstatic. But in terms of combos, they seem to work very well on this pad. I have no issues. It's just that I want that trigger to be on the other side. I would actually use it as it is now, but because these buttons keep sticking, it's just a waste of time. So guys, that's the overview, but I've got some matches lined up where I actually use this pad out of the 2, because this one you can use these buttons, even though they sound like they're moving, they don't get stuck. So I'm going to leave you with some footage from some matches. I think there's 3 matches where I'm specifically using just this pad. You may see a few errors in game, but those are because of the button layout, especially when it comes to EX DPs and EX fireballs using the trigger. But guys, hope that's been a good insight in regards to these pads. I don't think there's much coverage of these on YouTube, so if you want any more information about these pads, give me a shout. I'll give you a bit like a close-up. I can look at specific settings and stuff, and yeah, I can go into more information in regards to each one. So cool, hope you enjoy that, guys. I'll leave you the footage. Shall catch you later on. Take care.
Fight! Hadouken! final round.